Hi, it's Tammy, your integrated body coach, and welcome back to day 17. Oh my gosh, already? We are moving into week 3. This is day 2 of week 3 of our 30-day program. We're trying to lose a little bit of weight and also lay a foundation for our 90-day transformation. So, as we've talked about so much in this program so far, weight loss is so much more than just the number on the scale. It's about body composition, it's about getting your head right. It's about navigating this inner elephant that we have, which represents our subconscious self that's not always on board with what our prefrontal cortex, our little rider on top, aka our intelligence, wants for us. Yesterday we talked a little bit about how to measure progress. So as you embark on both your eating program and then also your exercise program, you want to know if you're moving in the right direction, right? What is it that we're doing that's actually producing the results that we want or don't want? So that's our goal. That's what we're talking about in this Take Back Your Life program. So today, did you know that today's modern world sets us up for muscle imbalances that can result in injury as soon as we get out and try to start an exercise program? And that's going to be the focus of our discussion today. So our bodies are made to move. You know that, I know that, okay? When we don't move, we experience certain muscle imbalances and muscle dysfunction that can work against us when we do try to move. Every muscle in your body functions as both an agonist and an antagonist. So for example, when you flex your bicep is this muscle right here. So when you do this, your bicep is working as an agonist. Okay, that's the muscle that when you bend your arm, it's getting shorter, it's contracting. That's the agonist. And then the antagonist is your tricep. That one is extending and it's getting longer and it's allowing this one to get shorter, but it's controlling the rate at which this one gets shorter. Now, when I straighten my arm back out, then this tricep contracts and gets shorter while the bicep extends. So this becomes the agonist, this becomes the antagonist. They work against each other. Every muscle in your body has an agonist, operates as an agonist or an antagonist to another muscle. And so what's important about that is that your brain has neurons. Everybody's brain, we have one neuron, motor neuron, it's called a motor unit, that goes from your brain to both the bicep and the tricep. Okay, same nerve. And that nerve, it's impossible to fire both your bicep and your tricep at the same time. And that's very important because if you constricted this and this at the same time, you're going to end up ripping your muscle off of your bone. You know, you can't, it has to give and take. And this motor unit knows that. And so it only allows one to fire at a time. Okay, so now when the muscle remains in a chronically shortened or lengthened state, so that it means like when you sit for a long time or wear high heels, for example, that keeps your calf muscle in a contracted position, shortened position, then those nerve signals become overstimulated. And over time, they don't want to release those muscles to lengthen. So when that muscle can't lengthen, therefore your brain is unable to send the message to the reciprocal muscles in order to contract. Okay, so stay with me because this really is important. I know it's a lot of detail. Hip flexors are the muscles that, when contracted, put you into a bent or seated position. All right? This leaves your glutei or your butt muscles in a chronically lengthened position. All right? So when you go to stand up and walk around or perform some exercise like running or squats or hiking, then those hip flexors don't want to let go and the message can't get to the glutes and they can't engage. Your brain simply won't allow it. So then what happens? Well, then other muscles take over. And this is called, these other muscles are called synergists. All right? So your hamstrings, for example, they're going to pick up the slack and try and do the work of the glutes. And when this happens, it's called synergistic dominance. And the problem is your hamstrings are not designed to do the work of the glutes. They're designed to do the work of the hamstrings, okay? And this eventually, they're going to be strained or you're going to have injury caused around your knee or your hip joint or somewhere else in your body. So over time, if not properly managed, our bodies develop these muscle imbalances and synergistic dominance dysfunctions. And this has to be addressed before you can begin any substantial workout program. This is especially important as you get older because, one, these muscles have had longer to develop their dysfunction, and two, your muscles and connective tissue become less elastic and less flexible as you age, and therefore more prone to pulls and tears and injury. Okay, so this whole process of balancing out these imbalances is best done through the use of a foam roller and stretching. All right, so foam rolling is also known as self-myofascial release, and it's like giving yourself a deep tissue massage, okay? So by applying pressure to your muscles that are in a chronically shortened position or condition, then you can send a message to your brain telling it to release its hold on that muscle. At the same time, you consciously contract the opposing muscle to further cause that tight one to release. And so this needs to be done before every stretching and workout session. And we're going to get into some demo of how to do that. But before then, this is a foam roller right here. This is an example of one. And maybe you've seen one before. Maybe you've used one before. But this is a foam roller. This is a long one. Just a couple things about it. It's 36 inches. This is good because sometimes there's a lot you can do with a full-size long one. So I don't recommend getting a short one unless for some reason you don't have room to store or use a long one. So get a long one, and then they come in different colors. So the black one, the dark black, now this is dark black. It has the pink flecks, I think, just to make it pretty. But the density of a dark black one. They also come in light gray, which is a little bit softer, and then gray, which is even a little bit softer than that, and then white, which is a little squishy. And there's also a blue one. I'm not sure where it falls in the range, but the dark black is definitely the firmer one. Sometimes if your muscles are really super tight, it can be really painful. So if you're finding that it's just too hard to get on a black one, maybe start with a softer one. But if you can manage, then get a black one and start with that, and then just gently work your way up to where you can really take advantage of it. So the foam roller is just the magic tool. There is a link below in the notes to a article. It's actually it's a foam rolling article put out by Healthline, and it just shows you how to go through and systematically foam roll your body in greater depth than this video is going to go into. I will show you some tips before we're done, some ways to actually use the thing and begin to roll key parts of your body. Okay, so I do want to talk just a little bit about, do a little brief demo on this foam roller because it's so important that you roll the right muscles. And so we're going to start with what is very, very frequently an over tight muscle, especially on women, and that's going to be your calf muscle. That's this one right here on the back of your shin, okay? That's your calves. And what do? We walk around in high heels all day, right? And so that puts that calf into a chronically short position. And so when you go to run or to wear your flats or walk on the beach, you have this chronically short muscle, and you get problems around your knee because the rest of the muscles can't work appropriately. So what we're going to do is we're going to get on the foam roller like this, and we're going to put this other leg on top of it, and then I'm going to clip this little microphone on my shirt here so you can hear me. And then we're going to lift up your rear end and then just kind of roll back and forth on that muscle. Ooh, and I can feel that because I was on an airplane all day yesterday sitting down. And so so you come all the way up behind your knee and you'll feel a little knot. So like right there, I feel a knot. So I'm just going to sit on it, and I'm just going to hold the roller in that area. Maybe just kind of go back and forth a little bit. I'm going to try and relax. I'm going to think, I'm going to breathe into that knot like I talked about. And then let me move back here so you can see my toe. And then what you can do is kind of flex it and release it, and that'll help. Ow, that hurts. That'll help relieve that tension in that muscle. And so then when I go out to do my running later, I can do it without, pulling something and hurting something. This can cause pain anywhere from the bottom of your foot up into your knee, into your hamstring. These calf muscles are so critical. And then you just do the other side. And you want to kind of go on the inside a little and maybe on the outside a little, just up and down. And just, even if you just get 1 or 2 knots every time before you go work out, you're really moving your body in a better direction. Okay, so that's one muscle group that's really important to get done. Another one are your quads, and those are these on the front of your muscle. Same thing, you just lay over on the front of it. I can demo here for a minute. You're going to get on the front of your foam roller like so. Hold on. And just roll up and down. Same thing, you just put the weight on the leg that you're actually working on. And you roll up and down and get these hip flexors are way up here by your hip. You're going to want to work up in there, and you're going to feel where that, you're going to feel those knots. You don't need anybody to show you where they are. You'll feel them. They will just show up, okay? And then you might also want to get on your side and do these up here around the side of your hip. Really just work your way around the foam roller. You can also cross your leg like that. Work your way around the foam roller. Feel like right there is a knot, and it's in that one I told you that. It's called your piriformis, and it sits right on the top of your glutes. And it loves to jump in and do the work of the glute when the glute is not pulling its weight, okay? And the glute's not going to pull its weight, like we said, because these muscles in the front are going to be over tight. Okay, and then another area that's very important to do is your upper back. And on the foam roller, we really only want to work from like the lower rib cage up to the top, the base of your neck. But you don't want to roll on your neck or on your lower back, because you can injure yourself that way. So I'm just going to demo what it would look like to do your upper back. So we're going to start right here, and we're just going to roll up to the top, right to the base of the neck without going into the neck, and then back up again to the bottom of the rib cage. And you can have your elbows apart, you can put them together, whatever works for you to where you can feel those muscles. And then you can also kind of roll side to side and work this side. And the same thing, you will feel where your muscles are most needing to release, because you're going to feel tension in there. And then another one that's very important, because the muscle that's responsible for rolling your shoulders forward is called your latissimus dorsi, and it actually goes across your whole back, but it comes around and it rolls your shoulders forward like that. Now this is not a position we want to be in. We want our shoulders back and down. And so in order to deactivate that, where it ties in, it's this part right here on behind your arm, kind of behind your armpit, right? So we're going to come back here. Ow, and this is like a really tight one on me. If you'll notice, my shoulders are kind of chronically rolled forward, and I'm trying to fix that, but it's going to take a while because I'm older. So you can just make a fist and kind of support your head on your shoulder there, and then put this hand out, and then just kind of work that back part of your armpit, and right there is the spot. So I'm not gonna take a whole 30 seconds, but in my rolling before I take off on my exercise, I'm just gonna rest on this a little bit and see if I can let that release. And what I'm gonna do is I feel this heat that just kind of goes all the way down the back of my arm to my elbow when I do that. So those are just some basic areas to foam roll before you jump out into your workout. Okay, these are key areas that chronically get tight, that produce problems. Now, if you have pain when you're working out, I strongly recommend either grabbing a personal trainer, finding a local gym, maybe sign up for a handful of sessions. Maybe I did I think like 3 months when I first signed up and started working with a trainer, and it absolutely changed my life. And so that's why I do this now, because I'm such a huge believer in that. And there's just a little bit of knowledge that if we understand, then we can get out and really do a better a job of taking care of our bodies and feeling better and being more active. So with that, your strategy today is use a foam roller on those chronically tight muscle groups. And the challenge is go get one. If you don't have one, get one and use it, okay? And your journaling exercise today is maybe just do a little journaling about what do you think about this, and if you have some resistance to doing this, what would that be? I know I can get very impatient sometimes. I want to run, but I just want to go run. I don't want to waste my time doing this because one, it's kind of uncomfortable, and two, it takes time, and I feel like I'm using time that I'd rather be spending running or exercising, and I tend to always be in a hurry. So if that's you, write about that. What's so important that I can't, properly take care of myself and use my foam roller? And journal just any other thoughts you have about that, where you think some of your tight areas might be, and break it out and try it out. And with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you back here tomorrow while we continue our week on fitness. And also, just don't forget, if you like what we're talking about, go ahead and like it, subscribe, and share. And I will see you back here tomorrow.